Hi folks, this is a small video on my trip to Ducati, the Ducati factory and museum in Bologna, Italy. This happened in June of 2026. Beautiful bikes, Ducati V4, V2. I'm partial to the Panigales. Ducati makes a lot of bikes, Monsters, Street Fighter and all that, a whole collection of beautiful bikes, but I'm partial to the Panigale. I hope to own a V4 or a V2 someday. And so that's really what I wanted to go and see, maybe even the manufacturing process. So that involves taking a trip to Italy. I flew into Rome, Italy, got to do the attractions, and then get to experience some of the city as well. So in terms of the local bike scene, lots of Lime scooters that you see everywhere. But this bike, this little white scooter, Honda usually, but there are many other brands, you see them all over the place. They're very high in utility, and they're just parked all over. I never saw a lot of 1600s or Aprilia, whatever. I saw some Enfields, some Triumphs, but a lot of these scooters. I expected to see some Vespas. You do see a few, like this one with the top box, but plus these little smart cars, some small Fiats, but just a lot of scooters all over the place. I had to get a picture of this Kawasaki ZX-10R. It's an old one. Now, if you have to visit, Ducati, the whole area is called Motor Valley in Bologna. I just went to Ducati this time, but sometime I hope to make a trip from, for example, from right to left. Go to the Alpha Tauri factory, which is a Formula One team, and then visit Ducati, Ferrari, stop by Lamborghini as well, Pagani, ultimately ending up at the Dallara factory. Dallara is a team that manufactures racing cars. They do it for Indy, and they also do the Cadillac Formula One cars. So someday I'll make that trip, but this time I was totally focused on Ducati. So I went by train to Bologna from Rome. You take the high-speed red Frecciarossa trains. It's a pleasure sitting in a high-speed train. I wish we had more high-speed trains in the US. We don't. But cross-country in a high-speed train is a special feeling. Now, this is the set of buses that go between train stations. So when you go to Bologna from Rome, you got to stop at Firenze and change trains, Florence or Firenze. And so you go to one terminus, you get off the train, you hop on these one of these six different buses that just kind of go from one terminus to the other where you pick up your second train. But this was impressive because these buses get priority. They run like a train in the city, and they are supported by a motorcycle group, right? You have this motorcade with blazing sirens, and these guys are top-notch riders. I couldn't do this, but escorting six different buses, running like a train with sirens blazing, stopping traffic. I paid them a compliment. I said, that is some top-notch riding that I can't do. But this was a fantastic and new experience for me. A motorcade supporting a convoy of buses. The high-speed trains are special. It's a special feeling to go 250 kilometers plus per hour, which is about 150, 155 miles an hour in a train, just passing highway traffic there. It's a special feeling, and I use the opportunity every single time I go to Europe to ride in a train. The main Ducati factory, the factory and the museum are in a similar location. They're not the same building, similar location. It's a tiny factory compared with all the major manufacturers, automotive, semiconductor fab. It's not that highly, not very, very sophisticated, which is kind of funny because you visit the factory. I got to see the V4, the V2, and the single cylinder assembly lines, testing as well. Plus, there's a little door where the racing team is organized, both for World Superbike and MotoGP. But these pictures that you're seeing are pictures I just grabbed off the internet. They don't let you film inside the factory, which is it was kind of cute and funny because, like I said, it's a small factory. It's not super sophisticated. It's not like semiconductor fab or some certain automotive, that you might get to see someday. It's a little factory, but they protect their IP and they put these little stickers in your camera. Now, the parking lot is full of these Ducati motorcycles. I didn't see a single other brand in the parking lot, but you get to see employees coming and going on their Ducati bikes. I waited at the end of a shift to see a whole lot of employees leaving. I saw at least 50 of them leave, a whole string of Ducatis. Very interesting. And from then on to the museum to watch the evolution of this little company that started from transistor radios to modern high-spec motorcycles. So from the older motorcycles to the more modern ones, some that you're more familiar with, manufactured over the last few decades, the kind of bikes that I guess made Ducati more famous all over. They're more recognizable with their model numbers. And then, finally finishing with the racing bikes. Beautiful bikes. They have in the racing collection. They have, you know, Pecco Bagnaia's number 63 out there from MotoGP, and they have the World Superbike. I don't know if it was Bolliger's or Bautista's bike from World Superbike, but they had that as well. So it was nice to be so close to the real thing. You hardly ever get to be so close to real MotoGP and high spec race bikes. And then these are all this beautiful collection of the more recognizable bikes that made Ducati famous in the last, few decades. Well, after the trophies, I got to head back to the V4 somewhere if I can find it. I say trophies well earned by this little company, and I say little because it's really tiny. It's a tiny little company compared with, let's say, Honda, Yamaha, and Kawasaki. Those companies are huge. It's very commendable that this little company in Italy is able to be, a number one for so many years. Well, they're getting some competition from Aprilia today, but this is a number one brand and number one MotoGP contender, so it's very impressive. The V4, I'm just happy to be in the presence of. Hopefully, I'll get to buy a V4, maybe not a V4S or V4R, I don't know, maybe even a V2, but this bike is just absolutely beautiful. So after enjoying the sights of the company, factory, museum, Bologna in general, I had to make my way back home, back on a train, then on a plane, and produce this video. So if you liked what you see out here, give me a like and subscribe, and thank you for your time.